So this is my current project, and unfortunately I haven't shot a whole lot of video of the process to date, and it's unfortunate because the project is almost complete. This is a 1983 Honda ATC 70. I bought it about a year and a half ago, and at that time I stripped it completely apart, and this is essentially a full factory restore. So repaint, new plastics, new rubber for the tires, or new rubber for the wheels. Different motor because the original motor didn't come with it. You know, new seat and whatnot. So currently I'm working on the, I guess the bracket for the seat that holds the seat to the plastics, and then it holds that assembly to the frame, and also the foot pegs. Now unfortunately, last week I was shooting some video footage for the foot pegs because I had to trim them, make a couple adjustments so they wouldn't hit the bottom of the motor when they were mounted to the bike. And some of that footage, the videos got screwed up, so I'm going to try to piece together now the process of me getting those put back together. But here they are, painted and finished, and I'm about to mount those to the bike now. So maybe what I'll do is I'll insert the footage I got that I managed to save from last week, and then we'll finish up with me mounting them on the bike. Here goes. So today I'm working on the foot pegs for the ATC 70 restore that I'm working on. I've let this bike sit for a couple months now. I just got the motor running back in October. It runs really well after having a bit of carb problems. I had to create a custom intake for it because the carb wouldn't fit under the gas tank. So I bought some Schedule 40 pipe, made some pie cuts, made a couple flanges out of some quarter-inch plate, and put it all together, and it worked well. The only thing was because the intake was longer, the volume of air was increased. So I had to increase how much gas is flowing in. But anyways, I got it running. Runs good. Maybe I'll put a video up of that running in the not too distant future. But in the meantime, we're working on foot pegs today. So the issue I have is these foot pegs here are the stock foot pegs that came with the 1983 ATC 70. They're in decent shape. There's no rust. But the problem is where they get mounted on the bike. There's 4 spots. You see these 4 holes right here. Where they get mounted, it ends up bumping into the underside of the bike. They won't mount up flush. And that's because this isn't the stock motor. So this is a Piranha YX140 motor. It's 4 times as powerful as the original 70 motor. The 70 motor had 4 horsepower, I believe. This one has advertised as 16, and I'd believe it because I took it out through the driveway one day and it was pretty crazy. But anyways, the foot pegs won't fit on the bottom of the motor. They bring up. So today I'm going to take this, well, pieces of this, probably like this, maybe even the bends, I'm not sure. Fab up a new plate that'll fit the bottom of the bike nice and flat, and get everything fitted up. So initially I said I was going to make a plate and attach the cut off pieces of the foot pegs. As you can see here, a clearance issue right there. I can't get it up flush to bolt into the motor right here. As well on the other side, let me see if I can hold the phone here correctly. You'll see when it comes up here, it hits the motor. So the change of plans is, instead of making a new piece of plate, what I might do is cut these off right here at the base. And that way what I can do, if I cut it off here, then I can just rotate this whole piece, from here out down on both sides. So I'm going to hunk it off, rotate them, make it more flat, weld it up. We'll see if we can make it fit. So yeah, just to give you a better look at how these are situated. Right now you can see that the foot pegs are not on plane with the mounting bracket. So what I want to do is take this and have it like this. So everything is straight up and on plane. And that should give me the clearance off the bottom of the motor. So I'm going to go ahead and set up, cut those off, do a bit of cleanup, tack them back together, make sure they fit, and then we'll weld it up. So when you're welding something like this back together, what you want to do is you want to bevel the edge, using a grinder, bench grinder, whatever. And what happens is when you put the stock back together, suppose this is the other side that we're welding to, both of them having a beveled edge gives you a seat where your weld can sit nice and flush, get a lot more penetration, etc. So we're going to go ahead and prep that now. So as you can see, I just prepared the beveled edge there, like that. So once again, when you put it back together and you start tacking it up, the weld will sit nice and flat because of the beveled edge. I'll bevel it on this side and I'll do what I can on the other side as well, even though it'll be a bit harder to do on the plate. But either way, I'll get the other one finished up and we'll continue on. So just as a little before and after, this is what it was attached like before. So you can see it's off plane with the mounting plate on the bottom. And what I'm going to do when I reattach it is I'm going to have it on plane like this, and that way it should sit up under the bike properly and it won't bring up on the bottom of the motor. Make sure we're getting enough gas. Shut down the welder. Let's take a little look and see how she fits up. One added thing I want to do is I'm going to take this part of the bracket off. So from here over, same thing from here over. That way I can get in here and get some weld on that. Same on this side. And then what I can also do is I can put a gusset connecting this piece and this piece. Just a small gusset on either side like that. Maybe on this side as well. And that'll allow me to help reinforce where that stuff is connected. So, let's chop it up, make up some gussets for when we take off. So now we've got that cut the way we want. I'll go ahead and clean this up with the grinder on the grinding wheel. We'll get our weld done, and then we'll do gussets like this to connect both sides, and possibly even do one here as well. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get the other side cut, and we'll look at making some gussets. So one thing I like to do anytime I'm painting bare metal surfaces, first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you get you're using an etching primer. This way it etches to the metal. But one thing you want to do is even if you just finished cleaning up the metal on a wire wheel or whatever, just in case anything got on it, kind of want to use something like a wax and grease remover. I'm not promoting duplicolor by any means. You can just buy acetone if you want. But anyways, we should give this a quick wipe down. Then we're gonna let it dry, let the acetone flash off, and then we'll go ahead and we'll hit it with some etching primer. see the junk and the shit that comes off when you wipe it down with this stuff. You don't want that on your etching primer because it's going to screw your paint up. So there you go. So even when you've prepared your metal, you know, like I said with the wire wheel or whatever, that's why it's nice to use a bit of a solvent to wipe it down. This way you know that your etching primer is going onto a clean surface. With regard to etching primers, the stuff I like to use is the Rust-Oleum product, self-etching primer. It's like a camo green type color. Once again, not promoting a particular brand, so I want to make sure you're using self-etching primer, stuff that'll bond to metal. Put the stuff on, you want to do really light coats. So I'll probably just hit mine. And like usually one light coat is enough. Like once the metal is covered, I'll show you what I mean now. So this is what the bare metal currently looks like. Get that to focus while it's swinging, and now I'll just hit it with a bit of right there. That's more than enough, just enough to give it a light coat. Then you should be good to go. So I'll finish it off, and then that'll probably be in this video. In the next video, we'll come back and get it painted black and get it mounted onto the bike. Give her a go. And that should be good. So one thing that is helpful that I find, I used to do a lot of mountain biking, I used to do a lot of my own maintenance on my bike. When you're doing stuff like getting grips on handlebars or, you know, these kind of rubber stops onto a set of pegs, you know, sliding this on is going to be a bit difficult. So what you can do, you can use a bit of alcohol to lubricate the inside, and because alcohol evaporates quickly, once it's on there, it pretty much evaporates right away, and then no issues, no more slipping after it's installed. So let's see if we can't get these put on. There we go. Slide. So we got our rubber installed onto our foot pegs. We're going to go ahead and put them on the bike. Okay, let's get these babies mounted up. Now these are 12mm bolts, I think. So I'll start with hand, then I'll go grab my socket and get them fixed up. I usually don't try to snug things up when I'm working on stuff like this with this impact gun, just because it can be a bit aggressive sometimes. Last thing I want to do right now at the end of this project is snap one of these off in this. So I'll just let them go until they hit snug and it clicks the first time. Then I'll just hand snug up with my socket wrench. Okay, that's all. Just set it down and see how it feels. It's really good, but the figure lever is in a good spot.